Now let's talk about the influence that the select clause could have in the query. This is where the crux of the matter is. Now, select clause begins to cause some troubles when you put in some things in that statement that the from clause does not have. Something that the original table does not have could be introduced in the select clause. Now, that's where the issue comes in. For example, you could create derived columns in the select clause, right? You could do some calculations. You write your aliases in the select clause. Now, this is what happens. Any new thing you introduce in the select clause is not going to be understood by this any order that is above it. Recall that we have where, which comes before select. We could also have the group by, okay, and having. All right. Now, if you introduce another column here, let's say this is column A, okay. Let's say this is column A, and column A does not exist in this from table, in this table that came with the from clause, right? Now, when you introduce this in the select column, because it's in the select clause, because it's coming after the where and the group by and the having has taken its course. So it's not going to be understood here in the where clause. Okay. Now, let me just show you exactly what I mean. Let's move into our data sets. This is the query we used the last time. Now let's understand something here. We have the customer ID, we have the subtotal and shipping fee. Let's say we want to introduce a derived column, okay, and this is going to be let's assume we don't have the total amount column, so we just say shipping fee plus the subtotal should give us the total amount. So let's give an alias and let's call these let's say total payments. Okay, I don't want to use total amount because this database already has total amount column. Okay, so let's use another name and let's call this total payments. All right, now I will remove this where clause. Let me just change this and say I want to filter these based on the total payment. But before filtering, let's even have an idea of what our data would look like. So this is it, right? So we have the subtotal plus the shipping fee giving us the total payment. So you could see now that we have an extra column that was created in the select clause. All right. So let's see some filtering here. So if I say something like where the total payments, let's say I want to see for total payments that are above 100,000. So where total payments are more than 100,000 or greater than 100,000. Now, should this give us an error? Shouldn't it? Let's see. Now, when we run this is an error. It says the total payment column does not exist. Why is it so? It's so because this name we just introduced here, it cannot be recognized by the where clause because the where clause is getting its columns from the from statements, right? It's getting it from the original table that the from clause gave it. Now, the from clause or the from statement doesn't have total payments as one of those columns. So the where does not recognize it. Why? Because originally the select clause actually came after the where. All right. So the where clause can only interact with the clauses or the statements before it, not after it, because this is the order of execution. All right. So that is why it is impossible for the where clause to understand the term that you bring into the select clause. All right. So now this select statement has this as an alias. It doesn't recognize it. But how do I still achieve this? I would have to manually write this calculation all over here. So I have to say, okay, where the shipping fee, because shipping fee exists in the from clause. Subtotal exists in the from clause. All right. So it's saying where the shipping fee plus subtotal is greater than this. So even though we have the total payments declared here, it doesn't recognize it. Okay. The same thing happens if we call this, let's say we call this subtotal, um, like let's give it an alias and call this just sub. All right. So if we want to check and we use that alias, all right, what do you think is going to happen? So let's say where sub is less than, say, 400,000. What do we expect? An error, right? Because this alias is not recognized in the from clause. All right, it's not recognized. So where does not understand this. It doesn't see it as an existing column name. Okay, so it is in these cases that you begin to see the order of execution, show itself fully. All right, and this is where confusion comes in when you try to put in an alias in the filtering and it's not working, it's giving you an error. This is the reason why you find those errors.